Alrighty, we're back. I'm not doing it, but I could use the hourglass and immediately lose. I wouldn't speak behind your backs, chat. Uh-oh. Oh, I have door stop. That's actually fancy. That's really fancy. Doors stay open, so if things go bad, I can just exit again. And I have the blue hourglass. I have the ultimate I'm out of here build. Yeah, speaking of which. No pill tasting. Honestly, I should have been pill tasting because I have blue hourglass. Nope. I want to keep that. I'm gonna keep that, in fact. Whoa, what was that jump? That guy really came for me. There's another one. I'm keeping this thing. I don't know how yet, but I'm keeping it. All right, successfully kept the bone heart shut. Hourglass is going to come in clutch for you to undo an item room and get planetarium next floor, right? That is also one of the many purposes of the blue hourglass. Honestly, a very, very strong starting item. Always stoked to see that one. Well, I guess you just called that. Congrats. Wait, was that Tinder Rock? No. Now to not ever find a planetarium for the entire floor. Because let's be real, we all know that's how it's gonna end. What's in here? Ooh. They're a heart. 3-cent heart. I'll have to find 2 more cents. We might go for that. Although I'm not too worried about losing my bone heart anymore on the rest of this floor. I don't have any redos with the hourglass, but at the same time I have all these pooplings, which don't do a lot of damage by themselves, but as a group, together we're strong, you know. All right, gurglings. Oh right, the door stays. I can't just hug the top wall. Oh dude, and I get fire poops. Yeah, this is gonna be easy peasy. I'll just let the fire poops do the job. Okay, I do need to hurry a bit because this is still a boss rush run. Library. Okay, what? That's okay. We can live without. Okay, what do we got? Little Steven. Instant hourglass though. I don't really know what the hourglass Oh, I also get an angel room now. Instead of a devil deal. But that's okay. So I want to see that item room. The problem is I do not possess a key. Dude, I need like 4 keys or so to do all the things I want to do. And that's not even accounting for the big golden chest I'm going to be finding on the next floor. I'm just not going to back-to-back item rooms, am I? That's just what's happening here. All right, speedball is fine, and Urn of Souls. I think I'll keep the blue hourglass. I really like Urn of Souls, though. No, I think Urn of Souls has done us enough here. Yeah, I'm literally done on this floor. Like, actually, I can go to the curse. If I go to the curse room, I lose my Eternal Heart now, though. All right. I guess we're just gonna have a, what, 41% planetarium chance per floor? 41%. Surely we're gonna hit one on a Jupiter floor with Curse of the Blind. Right? Right. We all know it's gonna happen. I like how that pile of meat is floating after the fat bat dies. Also missed out on the D100. Heck yeah. I usually don't have that kind of luck. Oh, also Urn of Souls apparently does a lot of good stuff. With Thy Holy Book that I forgot the name of. Jesus, that's a lot of pills. Too bad we don't have a blue hourglass anymore. And I'm a huge wiener without it. So many pills? Yeah, so many pills! Chat already wetting themselves over it. But that's life. Sometimes you find the pills and don't take them, and sometimes you don't find the pills and you also don't take them. Probs is such a pill hater. Yup. I'm not even making a secret out of that. I just dislike them. They are not good in deathless streaking. That's safe. Whee! Divorce papers. How does Urn work? You charge it up by killing enemies. Every enemy gives you 1 charge on the urn. Bosses a bit more. And then you just press spacebar, and when it's activated, you can shoot blue flames that do massive amounts of damage at enemies. And those flames also block shots, and enemies killed with the urn also contribute to recharging it. Basically, you fully charge it, and then you press spacebar, and everything dies. It's fantastic. Urn kind of mid. Have you not been watching what it's been doing on this floor? It falls off in the mid to late game when it doesn't actually kill enemies anymore faster than it uses charges, but in the early game it's absolutely nuts. And you can say this is Tay Earn. That is actually the most important part about it. My apologies. Although, do people still say that? Like, I don't watch speedrunners really anymore nowadays. Is that still a thing that's commonly said in the scene? Or is that the, like, 2014, 2015 memes still being around? But not very up to date anymore. Angie fly. Sure. I haven't watched a marathon in years. Well, I mean, you don't have to watch a marathon to watch a speedrunning event or a speedrunning stream. Fly piece 1 right here. Nice, nice. You like transformations? I do not, ever since I had to read Kafka in German lessons in school. Sorry. Spider mod! Come to Papa. Welcome home, buddy. Welcome home. Pluto! Oh, dang. Okay. So, since I always have to take it personally when people underestimate my, like, personal favorite items of mine, let me real quick use this boss fight as an example to show you just how mid the Urn of Souls is. Yep. And it used 4 charges out of 20. That is truly the middest of tier items. That Kafka title is called The Metamorphosis in English, interestingly. Oh, I see. Well, you still instantly knew what I meant, right? Like, I must say, I actually read a bunch of pieces of literature in school that I thought were really interesting, right? Like, mostly a lot of Goethe, which obviously is part of the curriculum in Germany. And I really enjoyed the Goethe stuff. But Metamorphosis, or like Die Verwandlung, as it's called in German, is just, dude, it's so bad. I actually really enjoyed The Great Gatsby personally, but I read that as a grown-up because I was interested in it. I'm assuming a lot of English-speaking students don't really speak favorably of that one either. I mean, let's be real. When you're like 13 and you have to read something because the teacher said so, you're rarely gonna love it. But yeah, I greatly enjoyed The Great Gatsby. I did not mean to come in here. But sure, I'll take the soul heart while I'm at it. Farting, baby. I don't want to lie to you, chat. I just remembered again that this is actually a boss rush run. But that's okay, because Urn is so good and fast that it doesn't matter anyway. Bro, so mid-tier item. Sure. Red Heart build. I've heard good things about The Giver from people who had to read it for school. I don't know what that is. Another one that we read was Of Mice and Men, but we read that in English classes and in English. That's one I really didn't like as a kid, but now, like, thinking back on it as a grown-up, I don't think it's actually that bad. Like, there's a lot of substance to that book. Also just really sad. Like, really sad. Oops. Curly's wife represents sexism because she isn't given a name. Okay, we never really talked about that part, but... It's also a book from like the 1800s, isn't it? Like, I'm not saying that that's a good thing, but like... People had very different opinions of women at that time. And they were definitely much worse, but where like a lot of women were just thought of extensions of their husbands. Again, I'm not saying that's good, but it is what it is. It's set in the 1930s. Well, to be fair, I mean, to be in my defense, I wasn't alive in the 1930s, but I feel like that what I said still applies to that time. Sulfuric acid. I'm actually a big fan of the game only giving me that now, so I don't have to waste a lot of time looking for secret rooms with it. That's very kind. Forget me now. Nah, man. Stream has taken an interesting literary turn. Hey, I can talk about pretty much anything that isn't like soccer. Would you like some more time-wasting items than R-key, perhaps? I'm like somewhat tempted to try to take that Forget Me Now and try to do the tech. And then still make the boss rush. But I think we'll just move on. We still have places to be. We still have another run to win too. Okay, Lamb Run, we go here. We get Glyph of Balance, which is actually not a bad item, but not really what you're looking for. And then we're gonna have to... I'm waiting for the day a streak dies because I come in here with 1 heart and I can't take an item. It's bound to happen at some point, right? Do Europeans call it soccer too? It's really weird. Like, I have started calling it soccer in English because I remember explicitly our teacher in like 11th or 12th grade telling us that when you call it football, Americans immediately think of American football. And if you want people to think of European football, you have to call it soccer. Now, I've told this story many times on stream, and every time people tell me that that's absolute nonsense. But it's still like that in my mind, right? So I still do it. Bold sack. Alright, I guess we're paying 1 heart to take Scorpio. If that at least made the flames green, I'd be fine with it. But it doesn't. Nice thing about Urn is that it blocks shots too, right? So enemies that explode into a lot of shots, they just, well, they don't. Alright, Urn of Souls, the Fistula Destroyer. Where is Daloki? Urn of Souls, the Larry Destroyer. Although, to be fair, everything destroys Larry, so not really an accomplishment. Even as an American, it's frustratingly confusing. I also think that it's mostly like a contextual thing, right? Like, if your European friend tells you we're going to a football match, then I feel like almost everyone should be able to figure out that they're talking about European football. Right? But again, it's just one of these things that you learn as a kid and then you kind of never forget about them, so you keep applying them. Even though you've heard over and over again that it's actually not true. To be fair, it might also just be one of those things that's taught for simplicity's sake, right? Like, to give the people the understanding of the language, like to express themselves more precisely, while at the same time knowing that if somebody says football, they might not be talking about the same football as you. So maybe that's just part of the reason why it's taught this way, right? Epiphora, that item you always try to use and then you get hit a bunch. Let's play hand egg, guys. We should just agree to always call it hand egg. I agree. What are my YouTube viewer country stats like? Mostly Americans and Germans. My demographics are interesting. I didn't think this would be the case, but apparently like the vast majority of my viewers are actually between 30 and... I think the range that they give is like 31 to 42 or something like that. Like basically the vast majority of my viewers are in their 30s, which I didn't think would be the case. But I guess it also makes sense that like a 30-year-old streamer would mainly be attracted. Actually, does that make sense? Nah. Most of the like really popular YouTubers are probably in their 20s to 30s, but their core audience is probably still like underage. I guess it depends on the kind of content you do. As someone who plays a very deep and complex game as The Binding of Isaac, it makes sense that a huge part of my audience would be more mature. Yep, that's gotta be it. Not the fact that most of this game's core audience was probably like in their early 20s or maybe a bit younger when the game came out, and we just all grew up with it. And the youngins don't even know anymore what the crying baby game is. I mean, the gaming landscape has changed enormously in the last 10 years, right? I feel like if you released this game again today, it would not perform anywhere near as well as it did back when it came out. I feel like people nowadays are looking for much simpler gaming experiences, personally, than what this game offers. And that's not even meant as criticism, right? Like, people from different times just want different things and different forms of entertainment. But yeah. Binding of Isaac is simple, right? I mean, it's a twin-stick shooter. Like, the gameplay itself is not very complex. It's just that the difficulty is very high. But part of the reason I feel like that roguelikes aren't, you know, performing as well anymore nowadays, like a big part of that I feel like is people just don't really want to play difficult games as much anymore. Difficulty, Isaac. Well, if you don't find a magic mushroom in every mushroom you bomb, like me, then yeah, the game is actually quite difficult. But also, have you considered just like finding magic mushrooms? Have you tried not being poor, basically? Yep, Burn of Souls is mid. You heard it here first, folks. I'm sorry, I can't get over that. Item is far from mid. Having to remember 10k items bad. What? Oh god, I hate this room. I should have just used sulfuric acid to, like, do this. I don't know why I didn't. I just saw this room and I was like, quick, I gotta get through here before the guys start firing. "30 enemies in 3 seconds. Well, have you considered that I am just of superior skill at the crying baby game? I mean, dude, look how superior my skill is. Most of you probably can't take out the Fallen by just holding down 2 buttons for 4 seconds. All right. Ropes into an innocent viewer for 20 minutes. I mean, I feel bad for doing it at the same time, but my channel is meant to be, you know, showing people how to play the game and how to get good at the game and what items are good. And like, Earn is just like, I mean, you've seen what the thing has been doing in this run. Like, it's top tier. This item is nuts. I seem to remember it fell off towards the end of the game, but as you can see, I was clearly wrong. And play with a controller. The game is also just straight up hard for everyone who's just starting out, right? Like, a lot of the difficulty from roguelikes in general comes from the fact that you go in and you don't know enemy patterns. And like, part of the learning curve is to start memorizing these. But that's also, for a lot of people, that's a process of like hundreds of hours. Most people take like 400 hours plus to get their first platinum God save file. And like the first 200 or so of those hours are spent trying to get somewhat decent at the game and not dying over and over. It doesn't have anything to do with being bad at the game. It's just, it's a hard game, man. Oh, the urn didn't kill the lamb in one shot. That's unfortunate. Now, to be fair, this urn in particular is vastly amplified by these absolutely ridiculous wisps that we're getting off of the Book of Virtues, which also fire blue fires, right? So that definitely amplifies the urn strength, but nevertheless, still a very good item. GG.